Welcome to the video, ladies, and why it's so difficult to get results. It comes down to not having the right goals, having the wrong expectation or inflated expectation, and not be able to assess. In this video, we're gonna talk about specifically a few steps that you can start doing today. And if you do those things, and if you post inside the group that I'm gonna post down here, the link for, I'm gonna personally assess those things. I'm gonna give you advice on that, and we're gonna build a free 90-day plan for you so that you can finally stop saying to yourself, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I know I need to get in shape, but I'm gonna do that later. Because for experience, this happens all the time. People have goals, they wanna change, and then when they start changing, they do not have the right assessment, or in other words, they do not know where the starting point is. They don't know what is expected, what is possible according to their genetics. And lastly, they say to yourself, just because they're frustrated, they're not gonna do it now. I know we need to get in shape, and I can do it later. And as history it repeats itself, as we keep seeing things such as COVID or something like those pandemics or those other similar things happening and recurring in history, you understand that if you keep doing the same things, you might not have a chance to do it tomorrow. So it's always good to do it right now, to start as soon as possible. Yet you need to know, as experience taught me, like in teaching and changing so many people's lives, is always better or better, or even better than that, is mandatory for you to have a game plan to start. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm sharing my screen, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what you should start with and what is mandatory. So as you probably saw many times, like one of the biggest mistakes that I see on people is their inability to understand, that weight, that just changing weight is not necessarily something that is gonna give you a good perspective whether or not you are changing, right? This picture here clearly would show, and it's an example, obviously, it would show that the person, like the change that you do on the right, not only is the weight changing, but the fat percentage changing, the measurements are changing as well. Sometimes, this might be an indication, but it doesn't necessarily give you an indication. Like if you just look at weight, it doesn't give you a proper indication. You would be losing, maybe you might be losing water, you might be losing some muscle, you might be losing some fat, but you're not able to know exactly what is tangible, and you're not able to know if you're doing any progress. Now, what indicates, for example, this picture would indicate not only that she's improving on her measurements to get lower, right? But the water retention, the puffiness, the storage points of where the fat is stored before versus after indicates different hormone interacting. Now, like this is not the video that we're gonna talk about. We won't in this video necessarily talk about hormones and all that stuff. This is just to show you like that you should take a picture of yourself, and you definitely should post it like in the group that I'm gonna post here, since I'm willing to do this thing for free for you, because this is usually something that we include in our program. But I'm just wanna give you an edge and try to do that. So the first thing you should do is post picture, for sure, taking picture before and taking picture probably every 2 or 3 weeks. And then like you should go onto this website and calculate, which is like a basically body fat calculator. You can find this in anywhere. You put your age, let's say you're 39, let's say you're, like you need to go, like you can do in US unit, but mostly you would do in metrics unit when it comes to the height, when it comes to your neck, when it comes to your weights and your hip. Okay, let's pretend that the hips is 110. Let's pretend that the hip to waist ratio, let's say like your hip and waist is something like, this person would be overweight and slightly overweight, and results would be 29%, right? Okay, so body fat percentage, 29%, as you can see, is average body mass index. This thing is just so you can have a sense, okay? So you take this thing here, and then you go to this calculator, which is a TDEE calculator, which basically means that the total daily calorie expenditure or energy expenditure, better say, which is the combination of your metabolism plus the energy expending. You can do metrics or US, depending where you are. Let's pretend that we're talking about metrics here. You put your age, you put female, you put, let's say your weight is 90 kilos or let's say 95, right? your centimeter, it's it was something like 177 or 170, or more realistically, let's say 168, right? You have a, I would always put either sedentary or light, because most people, even when they do several, unless you're exercises that you exercise so many hours like a week, I would always put one, because even if you do 3, probably you're not going to the extent or to the intensity needed anyway. So I would just put 1 to 3 or sedentary. And then you put 29, and this is gonna give you a pretty much good estimation of what your maintenance level calories are, right? And your calorie per week, which is interesting because calorie per week means that, you know, per week, your body thinks in weeks. Like if you want to, like now, you know, if you wanted to lose, and again, this is why I need you to post, and I need you to take the screenshot here and post it inside the group and tag me, because over there I can get, according with your picture, a realistic expectation for you. Most people, as you cannot control physiology, you would decrease 500 calories per day. And so you would go to 1700, for example, right? And then you would lose a couple of pounds or 1 kilo in a week. And then the week after you would not lose it. Because like we can't control physiology. It's not like a linear mathematical equation, but you want to start understanding these concepts. Now, when you say per week, is interesting because instead of you, like we know that for you to lose a kilo or 2 pounds, you want to be creating at least 9,000 calories, right, per week, right? Or like 3,000 per 3,500 per pound, or 7,000, not 9,000, 7,000 per week. So you know that you want to be going at least to 1,200 here or something of that nature, right? And then like you can do 1,200 divided by 5, by 7, right? If you count the weekends as well, and then you kind of like know how many calories you should be decreasing. Now, if you are here and if you just go around 1,800, especially if you're moving or you're exercising, you would be seeing some sort of results already. Okay, so with this being said, very simple assignment, like very simple thing to do. Just do everything needed. If you want to look at your weight, keep and try and feeling like you're getting results that way, good for you. But if you want to do it properly and set realistic goals and really know that you're improving, just take your picture, take your measurement, go through these websites that I just listed here, and then post in the group link that you see down there. I'm going to be advising personally and reaching out to you. How do I personally feel like you should go towards your next goal? And also, more chances are specifically what kind of nutrition is better for you, because if I do see where your fat mostly is stored, you have an indication if you have some sort of insulin indication, like more insulin or more cortisol or whatever hormones are responsible for you being in the condition you currently are.